Hello everyone. Today I thought we would do a layout in our Scrap to Treasure journal. And I've got a link to that class if you want to make a big handmade journal for yourself. And I've already done one layout in here, which now that I look back at it, I just totally love. And I just flipped the page and I've got an idea. So we're just going to see where this idea goes. So I have got some old paper here that I've just randomly collected, and I think what I'm going to do is just kind of start this with old papers kind of glued down here on my surface, and then work in some painting and stenciling on top of that. So that is my thought today. So I've just got some matte medium, and I'm going to pull down one of my 1/2" Simply Simmons brushes. I like the Simply Simmons because, I need to shake that up. I like the Simply Simmons because they're inexpensive, but they're pretty good brushes. I like them. There we go. And then I'm just going to attach these papers. We're going to let that dry, and then I'm going to paint watercolor on top of that. So that was a lot of glue. Let's put some over here. And it's fine if some of the matte medium gets on the rest of the page. I'm not being real neat here. So these are just old papers in my collection. There's nothing particularly special about them. They're just old. And this might not stick them down. I should do some, ooh, look at that. It did some really interesting pull the back there into that. So I may have to really work that down to get it to stick. Yeah, but I just collect old papers and stuff, a few old books, different things like that. There's nothing too special about these. Poetry is something good to collect. If you can find some old poetry books, those would be cool. Glued down in your page. Old dictionary pages and papers, those work really good. This paper is a little bit thicker, this journal page that has writing on it, but that's okay. Alright, let's come back over here. Glue this old dictionary page down. I like this because the first word up here is fairy. I don't know about the false over here, but could paint over that. And then once you get these glued down, you just need to kind of let those dry. So I'm going to leave these alone for a few minutes and let them kind of dry and stick and do their thing. Then I'm going to come back and do some painting on top of it. So I will be right back. Okay, we'll hope that's dry. And I think what I'm going to do is use some of the dry wax paper, which I just keep a box of this over here in the drawer I sit next to, this cabinet. And I might just put this under this page to keep it from going to the next page, so that I don't have the pages sticking together like I just had. And I think I'm going to go for some teal. So I've pulled out my watercolors that I have here in this ceramic palette. I've got the Sleeping Beauty down here, and so I'm kind of feeling like I want to use that Sleeping Beauty. And maybe some paint colors in the same shades for some stencil work, so we'll see. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and just protect the page underneath just in case I get sloppy, because sometimes I get really messy. Now, no, you know me. And we'll just protect that, and we'll flip it right there. We'll do the same thing over here. And then I'm going to, I think, spread watercolor. I even pulled out, because I kind of want it to look vintagey. And I could do that with like walnut stain, but I got some of these stains by Patty Pockets. This is a vintage, and it's a water-based art medium. And these are made by a lady on Etsy. So you have to just look up Stains by Patty Pockets on Etsy. It's not something you get anywhere else. But it's like a water-based stain something. So I'm just going to maybe use a little bit of that out here. But I think I'm going to put the blue down first. So I might go ahead and just wet that down and get me a brush, because I'm kind of feeling like maybe something coming down this way in the blue, possibly, and then we'll go from there, because I just want there to be some color down here. And it might have been better if I had glued these pages down with a glue stick, which I didn't think of until after the fact. But if you've got some of this Oohoo glue sticks, that would have been a really good choice. Acrylic ink would have been a good choice here instead of watercolor. But the inks are in the closet. I need to pull those. They're not convenient. I need to figure out some convenience for those, because I kind of put those up and pull them out when I want to use them, but then when I'm in a project like this where I'm thinking, ooh, that would have been good, if I'm filming, I'm just less likely to get up to go get it. Just is what it is. I kind of like, kind of want this to be vintagey, flowery. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I want some of that blue there. Maybe I want some of this. This is the other one I've got over here, but I like this quinacridone deep gold, so I might just pull a little of that out there, because it kind of looks vintagey with these papers. Just a tiny bit of that. And then I feel like I need to let that dry, because I actually want to stencil on top of this, and then maybe at the end we could do a little bit of the stain stuff. Let's look and see what this even is. It looks a little bit like a walnut stain, and it's going to give us a really pretty just brown vintage look to the page, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, so I think I'm going to like that. Alright, I feel like I want to put it on last, so I'm going to let this dry a tiny bit, and I'll be right back. Alright, we're not all the way dry, but I don't feel like I have enough color here, so I have just put down some acrylic paints and some white gesso here on my little paint palette. So I've got some dark green medium, I've got a little bit of black down here, I've got some teal green. Oh, no, the dark green medium I ended up not use. I put the teal green out here. And I'm just kind of thinking, I'm going to pull out a filbert. And I'm just kind of thinking that I'm going to kind of paint on top of what I've already put on there and add like another layer of some color goodness. Because, you know, if you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, not good enough, maybe you don't have enough layers. You know, I'm all about adding some extra layers. And I like mixing the gesso in because it does give me the option to layer things on top of the acrylic paint. You know, the acrylic paint is just real plasticky. And I might grab my bowl scraper and help some of this along a little bit, just giving me some yummy messiness. Oh, that's what I wanted. And I've just got some other kind of shades down here to give me some extra grunginess, which this is the warm gray. just extra in there. And then I kind of think what I want to do is maybe a little bit of light stencil work. And so I've actually got this Tim Holtz brush mark is the name of this stencil. And I like it because it looks like brush marks without it being, it's all consistent without you actually taking the brush and marking on it. But we could do the brush and mark on it. I mean, I could take a filbert. I'm kind of wanting this yummy gold. Yeah, let's just do that. But if you want consistent and even, I like this stencil a lot. Ooh, I like that. Let's put a little over here. Just kind of layering things in now. Oh, that's better than I hoped. And I kind of want maybe some kind of swirl or something under here. I was kind of considering maybe this one, Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous layering stencil, whatever this is. I don't see a name beyond. Oh, here we go. Brush ironwork layering stencil. So, and it does look like a piece of ironwork. I kind of like it, and I was considering maybe just a little bit of this here or there. I'm almost thinking that I want it to be something not as dramatic as black. I mean, I could even put it along the edge if I wanted. Along the edge might be nice. All I was thinking, like, what are you thinking? I mean, I could do that in that gray. Throw in the brushes there in the water. I'm trying to let that dry real quick while we're talking. I'm almost thinking, do we want that in that gray? I just want it to not be like super out there. I want it to kind of blend in, but I want that to be a pattern under there. You know, like a garden lattice or something like that. Let's just go for it. Just put it down. Don't think too hard about it. If you don't like a page, you can always gesso over it. It's not anything that's permanent. Don't get upset when you've got a page that you're like, oh, it didn't turn out like I liked. Just gesso over it and paint it again. Oh yeah, see, I just wanted it something under there that wasn't like suck you in the face, but was kind of interesting. So I like that. That's a good one. Good choice. Good choice for what I want today. All right, and I'm kind of thinking maybe a flower pattern or design. You could draw botanicals on here, but I'm almost feeling like the Stencil Club stencil with all these flowers that I did somewhere. Feeling a little bit of that. Maybe just through here, maybe. Just not like over the whole thing, but just as an interesting spread across it. But I do need to dry this paint first. Alright, we'll hope it's mostly dry. No big deal. I'm kind of thinking black, so I've already got black out here. I'm just going to grab another sponge and real thin on my paint. And maybe do something kind of starting way up here and just working my way down in hopefully what is going to end up looking like a little bit of an organic flower spray. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? But if you start off with something pretty, hopefully you end up with something pretty, right? We'll see. I got so inspired by another layout that we did where we used that black stencil on top as kind of a silhouette of something that I was like, yeah, we need to go. Oh, yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. A little spray. So Oh yeah! Now I'm almost thinking that I could have gone a little higher because as I come down a little further, oh my goodness, it worked out exactly like I hoped. That was a good choice. Oh, look how pretty. Alright, let's try to just keep on going. On the road again. Let's just keep it going. Oh, good. That is just so lovely. Alright, might have to put a tiny bit of more black paint. We'll see. Can we make it? Can we make it? Let's see. Brr. Alright, let's look at that. Oh my gosh. Do feel like I need a little bit like right down here. Oh, so lovely. That's a cool one. Now maybe a little here, like as a separate little coming in from the corner maybe. Yes. I didn't want to get that too much on the stencil, too much of the stencil on the page because there was some wet paint on the back of it, but check it out. Alright, I'm loving that. Now I'm kind of thinking, do I want to stain it with the Polly Pockets, the Patty Pocket stains? I'm feeling like yes, just to say that we tried it, because after I showed these in a little art haul, I never actually have really used them, so we're going to take a little try with them. And I'm kind of feeling like maybe a wet wipe would be handy, and that might let us squish stuff around and really let the antiquing get going. And I need this black paint to dry before I actually do this. Okay, I think we're good, hopefully. And I'm just going to dip a brush in and kind of mush this around. It's like a stain, you know, like you're working with a stain on wood and stuff. And I'm just going to let my baby wipe help me move this around. It's just going to kind of age the paper and not really overly change anything that we've worked on, but give me an old look hopefully to the paper and the just an overall dirty look to the whole page, like it really was like a really old art journal that we just came in contact with, something that's just gonna give me that aged look. Look at that. Totally what I wanted. Just something that looks like a dirty page, kind of aged, antiqued, like this has been in this book for a long time. We just came across a 100-year-old art journal. That's the feel I want. And it is the first time that I've played with these little stains, which, you know, maybe you could just use water-based stain from the paint store. But I would hope that with it being meant to be an art medium, that hopefully it's better suited to art. And we could probably make our own with some different mediums and a little bit of paint mixed in. But, you know, sometimes you just got to appreciate the creativity of other people. And if they've got something that you're like, oh, that's cool, it doesn't bother me a bit to go ahead and be like, thank you for making that, I appreciate that, I'm gonna buy that from you, instead of trying to figure out what you did. Okay, I'm loving that, I'm feeling that. Just got to look at it. We got to let that stain dry and then think, is there any other details that we want to add? Okay, so we could come back in with some black dots, could come back in with some writing, all kinds of fun things that we could do. But I think for today, oh, I love how you flip the page and there's something beautiful underneath. I think for today, I'm going to call this the spread, because, you know, sometimes I like to revisit things later. Sometimes I like to get the exact idea that I had in my mind, and this was what I had in my mind, and it's yummy, and I love it. And I could add some black dots in there. You know, I'm all about a few pretty little dots, and that would definitely give me like just a little bit of extra. I like that, a little bit of extra. So you might consider something like that. Just some fun little extra details. But, you know, sometimes less is more. You don't have to do something that it's just over the top all the time, although this is a tiny bit over the top and I love it. But maybe a few extra little dots and details, pastels, lines, anything like that. Just some fun ideas to add to it after you get it to this point. But I love it like it is. Definitely feeling this. This is a good paint day. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Definitely check out the Scrap to Treasures book workshop if you want to make some of these art journals for yourself, because these are full of interesting papers. You can put your own papers in there. I've put watercolor pages. I have put different handmade art pages in here, art papers and things, and then as you get to them and you're painting them, they give you interesting layouts. Look at this one. This was the first one I did in here. So you can see how we can make those gorgeous as we flip through. I just flipped back to it and I love it even more. Okay, hope you guys had some fun painting with me today, and I'll see you next time.